welcome to It's in the Can, the podcast that tries to help you find the islands of TV gold in what is otherwise a streaming sea of diarrhea.
Wow.
There you go. I'm your host, Bouza, and I'm joined by two of the greatest TV philosophers of our generation. Tika, welcome.
Welcome.
Dogmat, welcome.
Hey, Buzz, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Guys, you said you wanted a better intro than last week. Take that.
Well,
You've stepped up your game, Buzz.
Yeah, it's all I've got, unfortunately.
we couldn't have got much lower than last week. So,
It's actually 2 weeks ago, but
anyway.
it's a tricky little concept. So we're going to kick straight off with our first segment. Anything you want to add, gents, before we do?
Oh, look, it's been a big week.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought we'd I'm the same.
it's going to be warm up before we
Mate.
dive straight into the waters.
There's a bit going on, and look, there's some crossover with some of the topics that we're going to cover in our awards and some of the topics later on. But
We're going to
wow.
go there, right?
Bo-
I think
boys,
Forward.
I think it's fair to say that last week's celebrity guest caller was in the thick of things.
Yep.
Geez.
Yeah, I didn't think he could do anything more offensive than what he did on this show, but
Yeah, but I'll raise you that I think I've found a bigger narcissist than
hang on.
even Trump himself.
I'm looking at my notes right now. I think I've got someone to beat him.
Yep.
I'm finding Delta Goodrum on The Voice.
We call her in my household. She's known as Press on Nails because
Is
she's
that who you've got?
fake. No, it's not.
No.
I
But
can't
she's-
watch her. She's the hardest thing to watch on TV right now, and that's including Trump.
Now, I don't think he's calling today, but maybe in a couple of weeks' time we ask Seal to call in. Anyway.
Buzz, does she already win the early Fig Jam Award of 2020? And it's been a fair year.
Yeah, look.
Yeah, we don't want to call it just yet. There might be a few contenders.
I've got someone to top her even. Like, she's bad. She's horrendous. She's so fake. Everything she says is just...
it's all about her. Yep.
Yeah.
No, it's like working with Dogmat.
Yeah.
Well, are we ready then to go into our
We're ready to
first
go
segment?
into it.
It's the
well-
return of... Welcome to the 49th Streaming Awards, live from the Dolby, or is it the Kodak Theatre? And our first presenter award, nominee and presenter, is Tika.
Yeah, thanks, Buzz. Well, I was fortunate or unfortunate enough, depending on which side of the fence you sit on with Lance, to watch the Lance doco that dropped last Sunday. I think it might have been on Foxtel. It's on ESPN. It's 30 for 30. And look, it's an amazing doco, which doesn't reveal a whole lot that we didn't know. It's more about what he doesn't say, which he basically doesn't apologise to really anyone. He remains unapologetic, belligerent, and look, probably the penultimate line of the doco is he basically says, "I sleep well at night," despite suing, lying, bullying, and basically backstabbing anyone that ever came in his way. So he remains. The pure narcissist, and he wins my award for Narcissist of the Week, which, as Dog referred to earlier, just trumped his mate Donald, and also
And
your
close
mate
third by Delta Goodrum.
Delta. Yeah, exactly.
So he's remained a role model, is a fair
Oh
statement.
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Yeah,
Now, Tick, can I ask you a question? Now,
course.
it's on my list to watch, and I'm thinking, okay, Lance, not a fan of him. Can you get through the material? Is it something that's watchable? Is it something you can get through if you don't like Lance?
Yeah, look, it's a really good question. It has got some flat parts in it when Lance is at home peeling potato skins for some unknown reason. They thought that would be good TV. But look, there are bits where he just tees off on a couple of opponents. What's his name? Floyd Landis. And then he actually says that he loves Jan Ulrich, which is really weird. But look, there's enough content to keep someone that's interested in sport generally and cycling in particular. If you liked Icarus, which I know, Dogmat, you've seen that a number of
I've
times.
never heard that before.
And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a constant callback, Icarus.
It is. It's a sort of a similar story, and yeah, look, it's got enough content in there to. It is 4 hours, 2 sets of 2 hour sessions, so it's pretty. You got to stick for the long haul, but yeah,
It's
well
like
worth a
making
look.
love to Sting.
I wouldn't know.
I'll
Yeah.
send you an update later.
Yeah, I like his books. I've never listened to his movies, his music,
His
I should
movies?
say. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I just like how he just says it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yes, I'm now understanding the reference. Dogmat, you're the next presenter.
Yes, hi. Look, I each week want to present a what I'm going to call the Sure Thing Award, and it's basically
The Dog Shore, is
the
it?
Dog Shore, the dog.
Oh, the
the
dog
dog
show,
thing.
right. Okay.
Look, I just want to present the audience with a can't miss show that you might have not heard of. That helps stops you from browsing, and the documentary is Operation Odessa. It's on Netflix. And look, before the likes of Tiger King and McMillions and all these sort of funny doco storytelling types, it also has a bit similar to one called Cocaine Cowboys. This a doco came out. It's 1 episode, so you don't have to commit to 10 episodes or a whole season. It's a 95-minute show, but it's just it's a spin-off between a true crime thriller comedy, and it's all about a Russian mobster, a Miami playboy, and a Cuban spy who get together and they team up and they scam all sorts of underground figures. And look, it is a really funny doco. It's something that's really hard to leave 5 minutes in. And I promise you, I'm expecting feedback from everyone to tell me how good it was.
Okay. Well, I'll take the contrary view on that just for shits and
What?
gigs. I got through 25 minutes of it, and mate, I turned it off. I found it quite boring.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, right,
You
you've
did
seen it,
enjoy
right.
it?
Yeah.
I've
Look,
never heard of it before.
it was a fascinating story. I just found the storytelling a bit slow. But look, maybe that's just my poor attention span. Yeah, I know you raved about it, and I've heard good things.
It is a great. So, mate, yeah, no.
Well,
it's
I'm
all,
going to promise to give it a go, Dogmat, and
Well,
maybe we'll all
you
report
check
back.
check
Buzz?
back in next week.
Buzz, homework. You're the tiebreaker. I want you to watch all of it because I think at 25 you did sell it short there. Tick.
I will take bribes.
You are the tiebreaker. Come in
Okay.
next week, and by the way, happy for any of the audience to come back and provide feedback. But I'm guaranteeing it as the sure thing of the week.
I'd get insurance on that thing.
The only false premise around your award is that we have an audience. But other than that, I'm very keen to watch the show. So I've got the final award for this streaming award presentation, and I'm handing it. The award title is, and I made up on the fly, Best Show with Aussies in the Lead Roles Award, and handing it to Mrs. America on Foxtel, Kate Blanchett, Roseburn.
How did Pete Hellier's show not get nominated for that?
I'm ignoring the fact that it exists. Can I plead the fifth? That's probably topical. Kate Blanchett and Rose Byrne are in the lead roles. Very strong cast in general, set in the 1970s. Based around the story around the feminist movement and the Equal Rights Amendment Bill. Some of you would have fallen asleep just hearing that part of it, but I promise you, if you don't mind a little bit of American history or politics as the premise of a show, for example, Charlie Wilson's War, really good production value and probably one of the best dramas I've watched in the last 12 months.
You are very woke though, Buzz. So not all of us are as woke. What else could we learn from the show? Is it well worth the look?
I think what's surprising about it is that there were two different groups, at least, splinter groups, let's say, of feminists that had opposing views around the amendment. For a lot of people, that would still make them go, that's a miss for me, but you'll be surprised. It's just, it doesn't just stick to that as a topic, and there's some pretty good byplay. It's a strong show.
Buzz,
that's Foxtel.
Buzz, you had me at hello, you lost me at amendment.
Nice.
Nice. God, maybe I should change the award to that. Anyway, so just in summary, Lance is a tick.
Yes.
New tick.
Yeah, that's a
showing
big
on
tick.
Netflix.
on
Yep.
Netflix.
No, it's actually Foxtel.
No, it's
Foxtel, sorry.
ESPN
Foxtel.
30 for 30. Yep.
Yeah.
Which you got to pay a bit extra for. Operation Adisa on Netflix is a big tick from Dogmat and a not so strong
Tick.
That's a
for
no.
Penny.
That's one tuck and one no tuck.
No tuck. And Mrs. America, just trust me. Okay.
On Foxtel.
On Foxtel, correct. And we now move to our next segment, which is Jump the Shark. So Jump the Shark is where we cover shows that we think either were never any good or their best is behind them. And first off, Ticker.
Thanks, Buzz. Well, this show is called The Witcher. And guys, I heard so much goss about this show. It's been out for ages. People are like, whoa, God, I can't believe they've only made one season. I can't believe they made one episode. It's absolute crap. Like, I've seen less wooden acting by a tree stump and Brad Pitt. And it's dreadful. There are a couple of redeeming features if you like video games and guys with platinum blonde hair and the occasional, obligatory nude scene. Okay, good. But look, it's pretty hideous.
Are there any amendments?
Not that I'm aware of. Yeah, not
it
that I'm
is
aware
based
of.
on the video game.
Yes.
So
and
there's
it
that.
borrows heavily. The best scenes are actually the fight scenes.
fight scenes,
mate, if
okay.
I want to watch a fight scene, I'll watch Rocky 4. It's supposed to be like the next Game of Thrones. There's no storyline. There's no Khaleesi. That's all I need to say.
Okay, so it's a poor man's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please tell us about the lead actor. It is Superman.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now look, we've heard about this curse of Superman. Most of them seem to get the curse after they've played the role. Christopher Reeve. I won't name any others. I don't know any others. But Henry Cavill.
Kane guy. Anyway.
Yeah. Dean Cain. Dean Cain. Yeah.
Someone Roth. Anyway.
Who has swallowed a sheep, by the way. But anyway.
Yeah. Look, Henry Cavill. I think the curse hit him from birth because he cannot act. He can't act his way out of a paper bag. He's terrible. And it's a dreadful show. I don't recommend it to anyone. I watched paint dry once, and it was slightly more interesting than The Witcher.
Well, next to tee off, Dogmat, you've got some disturbing content to cover.
Yeah, look, Netflix has just put on Jeffrey Epstein, Filthy Rich, which I think is about it's about a 4 or 5 parter. So, look, I got through the first episode. Thought the topic matter might be quite interesting because there's quite a lot of underground dealings with Epstein. There's a lot of questions about how he obtained his massive wealth, whether he's in blackmailing influential politicians and so forth. So I was just interested in all that sort of part of it. But really, about 10 minutes in, it does delve into, all these dealings with the girls, and it gets pretty creepy, pretty quick. So not a fan. Couldn't get to episode 2. Was a really tough watch. So as attractive as it all is, did he die? How did he die?
Well, he definitely died.
We don't know.
Didn't he? Oh, right, yeah. He's with Elvis somewhere.
Reddit's got an Elvis line, yeah.
I have issued a writ of habeas corpus, which for those non-legal minds out there is produce the body. Yeah.
So there's a bit of intrigue about him, but like the show does delve into his dealings with the girls, and it's not great material and very hard to get through.
Have you seen it, Ticker?
So I have. I was also look, the subject matter is pretty dreadful, but I think Dog made a good point when we had a brief chat about it, that it just doesn't delve into any part of where he gets his money, how he knows Trump, and how he knows all these other sort of similarly minded, filthy animals like Weinstein, and he seems to be mixing in all these circles.
Trump, and was he murdered? Wasn't he murdered? Was it CIA?
Right?
Yeah, I mean, is he part of Mossad? Like, that's been so there's so much on Reddit that you can go into all these different little sort of rabbit holes. But and it could be just the way they made a documentary. They've really focused on the girls, and that's just hard to watch.
Yeah. And I when I watched, I just thought it was very slow, and as opposed to say The Last Dance, which was really cleverly constructed and produced, and we talked about that on the last episode. This was really laborious. So agree on that. My one is a quick one. Run on Foxtel. I promised I'd watch that, and in a word, utterly pointless. Well, that's 2 words, but pointless. And that is all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
Now, Ticker, you've got another one for us?
I do. Yeah, look, we sort of heard a bit about this show, Space Force, come out on Netflix. I think it might have been last Sunday. And look, we're all excited. Steve Carell, his new gig, he's pretty amazing in The Office, and he's had a really good, successful movie career. I did not make it through the first 10 minutes because it breached my 5-minute rule twice, which was I did not laugh out loud. A bit like George's mum, not even a ha, not even a tee-hee. It was dreadful, not funny, just appeared weird. Buzz, I know you got through more than I did. What was your take on it?
Look, when they play Kokomo and that can't save a show, you're in trouble. It's not fair to compare it to Pigs in Space.
What about Spaceballs?
Not Spaceballs. But suffice to say that I laughed more during those than I did over a couple episodes of Space Force. And it's a pity because, a great team that put together the American version of The Office, and Steve Carell is one of my favourite actors. But yeah, as much as I wanted to like it, I just couldn't, and I'd encourage people to.
How's he in it? I know.
It's really bad.
He has nothing to work with.
He's trying to drive it somewhere, and it feels like he's taken a couple characters from the past and merged them into one. Even his performance is not. There's nothing really immediately funny about his character.
Yeah.
Great.
So, Dogmat, I don't think have you got another one for us, or is it straight back to me? Okay, I've got one last one, and it's a bit controversial. Westworld, for me.
Ooh,
and this is I'll premise saying it took me almost a year to get through series 1. I just didn't find it bingeable. I'd watch an episode and think, I can leave that for a while. I did push through the last 3. I thought the last episode of series 1 was good, but you have told me, Ticker, that series 1 is the best series.
Yep.
Well, on that basis, I'm starting a petition for Foxtel to remove all the other series. They should have ended it in series 1. I thought the final episode was good, but overall, it was just a rambling mess for me. And good production value, etc. But people compare it to Game of Thrones, and it doesn't have the right tight shoelaces.
Someone compared it to It's in the Can. I saw on a previous episode.
That would be a much more appropriate comparison.
Now, question
look,
for both of you
I'll
guys.
say this, and I think, Dog, you might have liked it as well. I actually really enjoyed the show quite a lot. And, I cannot see any criticism with it.
Well, the question I got for both of you guys, I started a couple episodes and it did feel like it was building to something. And my question is, do they round that up by the end of season 1? Is it something do they
do?
Yeah, bring the story
they
around,
do,
or is
and
it something
I think, and maybe I'm just not that intelligent, but I actually found it to be quite smart the way they built the characters up, and then there was a bit like a reasonably good twist at the end.
Yeah.
I turn my brain off when I try and watch this stuff. Not that it needs much turning, to be honest. But I actually found it quite interesting. I thought some of the acting was brilliant. I thought the 2 female leads were fantastic. Probably doesn't help that they doesn't hurt that they look amazing. And there's the occasional, sex scene, which, everyone has a bit of enjoyment for.
There's starting to be a bit of a theme to your...
Yeah, that's right.
I just figure if I'm paying for it, there's got to be some skin.
Okay, what are we talking about again?
Right. Well, that took an unexpectedly awkward turn.
I would say it was not in the remotest bit unexpected.
Yeah.
So on that front, and that was, I think, I don't know if I mentioned it's on Foxtel, but I'm not really going to point too much out around the summary because they're all shows to miss. But the summary, except Westworld, which seems to be contentious, but Space Force, Filthy Rich, Run, The Witcher, at least have all got the thumbs down for those playing at home. Our next segment is Don't You Forget About Me. Don't You Forget About Me is a reminder of some classics out there if you're looking for some great content. And Tika, you've got the first one for us.
I do, yes. And look, this one's a cracker. We had last week, Dog took us through Hip Hop Evolution, which is a brilliant series. And what I think is probably an even better music doco series is the Defiant Ones. It's on Netflix. It's about a 6-part, so it's very in-depth. Follows the intertwining careers of Dr. Dre, who is not a medical practitioner, so do not consult him, and Jimmy Iovine, who was a bit of a rock sort of country music producer. These two guys sort of managed to hook up around the real birth of gangster rap, and then into some serious R&B. They created Interscope Records and basically are the fathers of really almost every hip-hop, rap, R&B, even some of the rock records since about the mid-90s, including, massive artists, Eminem, 50 Cent, and then their spin-off. Yeah, just in terms of production value, it's really, really good and highly recommended to anyone interested in any form of music. Probably one of the highest level docos I've seen musically, again, on Netflix, and well worth a look.
It's well shot. It's probably one of the best shot documentaries that I've seen. I agree with you that you're saying it's probably one of the best. And the other thing, I think Jimmy Iovine, with the little that I knew about him, he's just as interesting as Dr. Dre, and he's covered Fleetwood Mac and
plenty of other bands. I think he might have produced the first episode of Footy Utopia.
Yeah.
And so now, Dogmat, you've got another couple actually for us.
I've just got the one actually, Buzz. It's on Stan. It's called The All American. It's about a football star who's from the ghetto and gets picked up by a rich family. So it's kind of AFL rookie stars meets Melrose Place, and there's all the relationships that go with being in, a rich family and rich girls and rich high school. Bit of sports. It's quite an easy watching show, very bingeable, and will be attractive to both partners. So really easy show, and I think they're on to season 2 now, but it's one that we've really enjoyed.
I've only got one partner. Is that going to be okay for me? Or?
Yeah.
You're so boring. No, I thought that you'd been also recently watching Killing Eve.
Killing Eve, yeah. Look, I didn't know if I wanted to mention. Killing Eve's fantastic. So they're on to season 2. It's a really good show. It's a BBC special, and it's won a few awards as well. It's very highly touted, and it's the first season's been written by the same person who wrote Fleabag as well. So great script. Really, it's a thriller as well. Fantastic. Couldn't recommend it high enough.
Excellent. I've got a couple quick ones. Morning Wars on Apple TV, I think it's Plus. It's the only reason to get Apple TV Plus, in my opinion. If you can watch all of the episodes during the free period, I encourage you to do it. Steve Carell and Jennifer Aniston lead the cast, based on some a real story, which I won't tell you which one it is. You'll pick it if you watch it. It's about 8 episodes, I think, in total, 8 episodes, and they are making a second series. And highly recommend. Probably the best show I've seen in the last 12 months, even better than Succession.
Oh wow,
Series 2,
that's
if you like
massive
like that.
raps.
Oh yeah, it's
Oh
fantastic.
wow. Okay.
And the other one is
I
yeah,
got
go
a
on.
question, Buzz.
Yeah.
Just a quick one. So you mentioned Succession there. I'm a bit late to the party on Succession. Is that Foxtel? I think
That's
it might be.
Foxtel. That's right.
Yeah. That's worth. So I'm in about 3 episodes in. It's pretty good. I'm enjoying the show. That's a winner for you.
Yeah, it's interesting. You mentioned in the last episode the difference in what's that? What's the kill one with
Killing Eve. No, sorry.
No, with Christina Applegate.
Dead to Me.
Dead to Me, sorry. And how that shifts from being a comedy into a bit more of a drama. Succession actually does a really good job, I think, over the course of Series 1. It struggles to figure out whether it's a dark comedy or a drama.
Yeah.
And by the end of Series 1, it decides it's a drama with some comedic elements.
Yeah.
And it carries that through really well into Season 2. There's a bit of a formula that they follow in Season 2, but it's strong, and they've done great character development.
Great.
It's really, really good, actually.
Thanks for that side journey.
No,
I didn't mean to take you off, but
well,
yeah,
it might be worth us previewing it next week, because I've seen the 2 seasons as well, and it would be my best show that I've seen in the last 2 years. Yeah.
Another one I know you love, Dogmat, and I struggle with it initially, but Mandalorian. It's the first Star Wars based TV show since the 1978 Christmas special, which is a high bar. But it certainly met it in the second half. I think there's 8 episodes from memory. Really good nod to the origins, and does a much better job of respecting the Star Wars series than any of the new movies, in my opinion.
Wow.
Now, you were highly critical of this last week.
But
what has changed your mind?
They did I think that it just felt a bit pointless the first 4 or so episodes, but it really picked up from there. It has got multiple directors, and I don't know if that played a part in that. And I can't remember in what order they directed it, whether they sort of crossed over or they did 2 episodes each. But the last 4 episodes were outstanding, in my opinion.
All 3 of us are Star Wars fans. The one thing that I just want to say what you guys think. I just felt that Mandalorian was the truest to the original Star Wars.
Agree.
It felt a lot like the original Star Wars.
Without just repeating scenes from the old movies.
Yeah. So it really had that vibe about the world they'd built and the character building. So,
Okay, so
I won't comment because I haven't seen Mandalorian, but I will raise you a Rogue One as being a very good Star Wars movie.
I actually didn't have that in mind when I was talking about the 3 most recent ones, but Rogue One.
Yeah, Rogue One.
Probably because it's an absolute direct scene-by-scene copy of Episode 4, but it's still a brilliant movie.
Yeah, agree. So our next segment, so that's the end of Don't You Forget About Me, is Movie Night. So most of this podcast is dedicated to shows, but we're just going to quickly go through a few movies available on streaming services of interest. And
what's the topic this week, Buzz? The title track probably gave it away. Girls on Film.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So I think it looks to me like we're focusing on more of the female. I certainly have. So
I'm certainly not.
Well, I have. And I managed to focus on probably the worst movie ever made. That includes Episode 1. Jar Jar Binks wouldn't have gone astray in this movie. It's called The Kitchen. It is absolute crap. It's so bad that I could not believe what I was watching. Yes, she's not funny.
Oh God!
But we know her from Bridesmaids and various other movies. That The Heat. Couple of absolute cracking movies.
Spy.
Yep. Spy starring myself. Yeah. And she's normally great. She's not great in this. She's sort of trying to play some dramatic role. the main star from Mad Men and Handmaid's Tale. I can't remember her actual name. Brilliant actress. She's terrible. Everyone's terrible. It's the worst movie I've ever seen. Do yourself a favor. Stay out of the kitchen. Just burn it. It's horrendous. As Gordon Ramsay said, it's a shit sandwich.
Wow.
It's horrible.
Dogmat, have you also got something that bad for us, or some rays of light?
No, Netflix obviously has invested a lot in some of their own original movies and content, and Extraction is one that's made a bit of headlines. It's with it's with the better Hemsworth. So it's a great it's a great action movie. Kind of similar to the Bourne, the Jason Bourne or the Bourne Identity series.
Oh, yeah.
It's got a lot of that sort of action and hand-to-hand combat. It's really well shot. It'd be like anything you'd watch at the movies. So the fact that it's on Netflix, really watchable. 2 hours just flies by. I think the body count might be in the thousands. I think they've shot and killed over 1,000 people during the movie, but it's one that's easy to watch. So that's
now,
my
I'm going to ask this for Ticker.
recommendation.
Does he get his shirt off? I mean, that's probably the key question.
Hemsworth?
Hemsworth?
Multiple times.
Excellent.
Also,
there you go, Tick. Put that on the list.
Great. It's on the list.
And I'll tell you what, he's got a counterpart. So there's it's been shot in India, and there's an Indian version who is his counterpart, who's every bit as charismatic and shirt off worthy. So it's actually a great film.
Yeah, wow.
Worthy.
Tickle, you might want to stop the show now and get right onto it. Okay. All right. So rounding it out, I've got one recommendation. It's called The King on Netflix. It's been on available on Netflix for about the last 6 months, I'd say. And it's based on the story of Henry V, as he's a young man making his way through the world. Timothy Chalamet, I don't know if I'm going to get the pronunciation right. This generation's Shia LaBeouf is the.
Oh my God!
There you go.
Talk about a bad talking up.
Yeah, that's right. But hopefully without all the issues. He's in the main role. Joel Edgerton's in it, and he's excellent. Rob Patterson's in it, and
God,
he continues to make you wonder, how is he going to be Batman? But look, if you enjoy some medieval battle scenes and drama, it's a very good film.
So apart from Brad Pitt, it's got the 3 worst actors known to mankind.
Joel Edgerton's not that bad.
No, he's okay. He's fine. But if it had Brad Pitt, it'd be the trilogy of shitness. Who's the other guy? Patterson.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf's twin young brother.
And it's fair to say Patterson plays a real kind of quirky type character as well. He's really going for it.
Oh, you've seen it. What did you think of it,
Yeah. I actually really liked it too. It was a bit of a sleep. I didn't expect to like it. But yeah, it got me in as well. I'll pay that, Buzz. Yeah. But Patterson's role, just watch out for it.
Well, Hemsworth's in it, and he takes his shirt off. So think about it.
Tick is fast becoming the Red Simon of this show
Oh,
panel.
yes. Yes, you're so negative. Actually, I think we're about to get a call coming through.
We are, yeah.
Hi guys, it's Dennis Committee here, coming to you live from Optus Stadium.
Dan, what have you been up to?
Well, I'm glad you've asked, actually. Unsolicited, I might add. I'm actually strapped to a 5G tower at the moment with Barra. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. I'm just supporting some what seem like nice folk who've got a beef about something, and, I just like to help out those in need. So, but apart from doing this, more recently, to try and kill some time, Barra and I have been making a recording. Yes, we've recorded an album, and we've been covering the greatest hits of Engelbert Humperdinck and Harry Belafonte. It's called Please Release Me from Quarantine. Now, if you want to get a copy, you'll have to come down to Victoria Drive in Perth, and at the back of Barra's car, we've got a bunch of them on TDK D90 tapes, which I'm sure you'll enjoy. And we've got an extra little special feature in there. DJ Machine Gun Malaxos does a mashup of Beds Are Burning and F the Police. All that aside, though, I
Oh.
did listen to your
Oh, shit.
podcast recently, and you'll be surprised to hear this. I quite enjoyed it. I was just wondering, what should I watch in the weeks ahead before, of course, the AFL returns?
That's a great question. Great question, Den. And I look forward to some Denos direct products like the the Favildo, which was a roaring success in the mid-90s.
I'd forgotten I even had that business. So I'm bring it back. That's a great. Probably got a couple of those left out in the back porch somewhere. Okay, I've got to go now. But yeah, please, I'll be listening to your answer.
Okay, Dan. Well, we had a couple of big shows are going to drop this week. I'm hoping the Bruce Lee story, which is going to be on 30 for 30, is as good as what it looks. I think it's called Be Water. Is that right, Dog?
Be Water. That's right.
Yeah, and look, he's an amazing athlete, amazing story actually, making it into Hollywood, and just I'm really looking forward to that. And just one other thing that just dropped, actually, a little bit of a promo on Facebook I saw just before was that they're going to do a Rocky documentary narrated by.
This is 30 for 30. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's 30 for 30, and it's narrated by Sylvester Stallone, basically about the movies and the making of the movies, which would be really awesome. And we're all massive Rocky fans.
So will there be subtitles or will it be dubbed in English?
Everyone just assumes he's saying Adrian and we did it, and that's pretty much it. Buzz, maybe Sly could ring in next week.
Oh, I'll see if I can line it up for you.
Yeah.
That's a good thought.
So I'm looking forward to both of those.
Yeah, excellent. So, Dogmat?
Yeah, and by the way, there's another 30 for 30 that's coming out as well, which is Mark Maguire and Sammy Soze, which is about the baseball, and those are the two guys that were on the steroids and had broke the home run record. So that's another third. So ESPN 30 for 30 is going to go crazy in the next few months.
30 for 30 is on Foxtel, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, ESPN. Look, I've just with all the news on America, and it's trying to keep current what shows to watch. I'm just going to recommend last week tonight with John Oliver. It seems to be one of the better ones. That's wrapping them up. It's on I think it's on every Monday on Fox. And he's just really good at just pummeling Trump and telling you the week's news. Very funny. Got Australian writers, so there's quite a few Australian references there. And the other show that I really want to recommend is there's a show called Snowpiercer that just dropped on Netflix. It's based on the movie Snowpiercer from the director who did Parasite. And Snowpiercer, the movie, was actually quite a great movie. I won't give too much away, but if the TV show, I think it's supposed to mirror the movie in a lot of the story, it could be one to watch. So Snowpiercer might be my one to watch.
And what's that on again? Sorry,
it's on Netflix.
Netflix, excellent. Snowpiercer on Netflix. I've got a couple, apart from wanting or very much looking forward to watching the footy, which is coming back soon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Bad Education with Hugh Jackman, which is on Foxtel. And I think also hopefully it's still on there, their new service Binge. It's definitely on that. And Normal People, which is on Stan, is getting some pretty good reviews. And Tika, you might like it. Apparently it's got a little bit of flesh and some scenes, the sort of scenes that I might be referring to.
That's an egregious accusation. It's scandalous. It's outrageous.
Well, is that Jackie? Is it Jackie from Seinfeld?
Jackie
Is
Charles.
that who you're channeling? Yeah.
Yeah, I resemble that comment.
You resemble it very much. Thank you very little. So that's the end of what to watch. And that is actually the end of our show.
We'll just quickly mention one thing. We had a couple of mentions from our regular fans on and
I
singular.
have missed them on the run sheet.
I say fans, it's plural. There were two of them. And they posted, I think it was...
Steve Travaskis.
That's it. And he said to watch Dark Season 3. And Buzz, you had the other one, which was...
The other one was Nelson Little, who suggested... Fuda, which I think is a series you've watched, Dogmat, Israeli.
No, it's been another one that's been recommended to me. So it's supposed to be a really good show.
What service is that on?
Netflix is Fuda.
Netflix, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Excellent.
And I think same with Dark Season 3, I think it's Netflix.
Yeah. But keep these recommendations coming in, because there are things like we did the Hidden Gems or the what do we call the thing? Don't Forget About Me segment, where you just miss. You have during last year's footy season or basketball season or something, you miss seasons of shows, and it's really good for us to be. We can review stuff for you if you want to have a look at it. Yeah, good stuff.
Wonderful. Now we might do a quick tuck and no tuck. So the tucks being the good ones, it seems, is Lance, which is on Foxtel.
Foxtel, sorry, yeah, ESPN.
Operation Adisa with some controversy on Netflix. Mrs. America on Foxtel. We had Defiant Ones on Netflix.
Yep.
All American on Stan. Morning Wars on Apple and Mandalorian on Disney. Extraction on Netflix and The King on Netflix. And the ones to miss, so the no tucks seem to be
everything else.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Everything I talked about.
Spaceballs, that's right. The kitchen. That were the definite misses. So is that a fair summary, gents?
That's brilliant. Well done, Buzz.
And on that note, it is
in the can.
It's in the can.